Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Horst Lüning, and this is my son Ben. And today we're sitting here in the wilderness in the south of Munich, Germany, at Lake Walchensee.
Yeah.
And this is no green screen. This is really behind us.
This is real life. Is there a technical difficulty? Kannst du mal auf OBS klicken? Ist rechts unten grün?
Yeah.
Okay, we're online.
Okay, we're online.
So, yeah, it's a bit of a stress to always film outside. So in the intro you saw we took an old-timer bus up the hills, and then we had my Chrysler, and we got sponsored by Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, which are the proprietors of Ardbeg. And now we have the Ardbeg range here, limited Ardbeg range. We have the Ardbeg TEN, Uigeadail and the Corryvreckan, and we're gonna taste them here up in the mountains. And we wanted to be the Peat and Love style, but it's a bit colder than we expected it to be, and seemed to be something wrong with the live stream.
I think they said it's in the delay in more than a minute.
No,
the comments are coming in. Okay, so we try to have this groovy style from the 60s, and you saw the old-timer bus, which is designed in retro colors and everything, because there's a new whiskey coming out, the Grooves, and we had a video here on this site earlier this day, and well, we wore these funky outfits, and there's a surprise from me as well. Yeah, stay tuned on this channel. You will see the Ardbeg Grooves video, but it will take a few days until we're coming up.
I think the Ardbeg Day is on the 2nd of June, so if you have any opportunity, the Ardbeg Day is international, and therefore you can visit the Ardbeg anywhere. And so just look around in your country and see if you find the Ardbeg Day in your area and attend it. Yeah, so we had the Ardbeg Grove on the 2nd of June. The Ardbeg will be released, and then we will be able to release the video, because they want to keep it a bit of a secret until the Ardbeg Day. And I think the start in selling is around that date, or maybe a bit later, 1 or 2 weeks. So keep your eyes open for the Ardbeg Groove. We're not gonna spoil it, how it tastes, but you know Ardbeg. Ardbeg is for quality, so you should have a look at it.
Yeah. So we're here sitting at the shore of the lake in a elevation of 800 meters, 2,400 feet. And we just had a thunderstorm going through. It's still wet here. We had 22 degrees centigrade this day, and now it's down to 12. And you can see some fog on the lake.
It's about 60 Fahrenheit.
60 Fahrenheit, less than 60 Fahrenheit.
Isn't 60 Fahrenheit like 20? I don't know.
Yeah, less, yeah. 75 is 20, I think, isn't it?
No,
no idea.
Something. It's cold.
It's cold, yes. And so I used this sweater I got at the distillery.
Oh yeah. I have my sweater from the Ardbeg adventure.
Sure.
If it turns any cooler, I will probably slap it on.
It's Islay weather.
It's Islay weather, definitely.
So we're streaming here. We are 4G.
Yeah, 4G LTE from our local telecom communicator, Telecom Mobile. I think they have shops in the US now as well.
Yeah.
And usually the coverage in Germany is really bad, but we found this really nice sweet spot with the mountain in the back and with 4G and everything. So I just want to prove it. You keep talking and I prove you something. This is not a green screen. You can walk in the back.
So it's no green screen. And I always said, well, problems. We have no electricity here. So everything we're doing is on batteries. We have a mobile home at the parking lot. And we have some light here. And now we are quite after sunset. Just sunset, I think. And
Yeah, it's not sunset, it's just behind the mountains.
yeah, so it's close to sunset.
Yeah, I don't know what sunset means. Is it behind the horizon or just behind the mountains?
There are 3 different kinds of sunsets.
Oh yeah,
It's very difficult. So, but do you agree that Ardbeg is something after sunset?
Yeah, an Ardbeg after sunset. And the water we're using is from the lake behind us.
Probably a little cold, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, it's a very deep lake, so it's a really, really cold lake. Okay, so let's try the first one.
Yeah, first we have the sequence. We talked about the sequence. And we said, well, the Ardbeg TEN is the standard, is out there since 1999. And then the Uigeadail came out 3 or 4 years later. So we there took the normal sequence. They came on the market. And the Uigeadail has a little bit higher ABV as well. So it's stronger and additional cask maturation. And then the Corryvreckan came even later, but only a few years later. And it has even more strength. So we decided, well, we use the sequence in which those bottles appeared. And
Also the alcoholic strength.
And probably the taste, the strength of the taste. So we see. Yeah.
Ardbeg TEN.
Ardbeg TEN. I think we had a few times the Ardbeg TEN on my cask, on your cask. We tasted them, I think, together.
Ardbeg TEN is just a common whiskey. If you're in the single malt world, then you have to know the Ardbeg TEN.
Yes.
It's just one of the great pillars of whiskey, I would say.
It came out later because Ardbeg Distillery was closed for several years, from I think 1984, 86 until 1997. And this Ardbeg TEN appeared in 1999 on the market, and the specialty was it has more ABV than before, not only 40 ABV but 46, and they avoided or omitted the chill filtration, so it's even stronger from the taste as well. And they omitted coloring, and so the new Ardbeg TEN was so much better than the old one. Which has 40% ABV, was colored and everything. So it was a huge milestone for the whiskey industry, especially on Islay. And a lot of other distilleries followed with that style. So this is really a pillar of the industry.
Yeah. The thing is, for all you beginners out there, Ardbeg is a hefty, smoky punch of whiskey. It's 55% ppm, parts per million of phenols, so that's about the smokiness. Usually, other whiskies that are used to be are known for being smoky are 45, 40, somewhere in 50. This is 55, so it's pretty smoky. But the nice thing about Ardbeg is they're known for their sweetness as well. So they always combine it with a bit of sweetness. Oh, most of the time.
But the sweetness isn't there immediately. You need a few seconds or even a minute to discover the sweetness, because in the start you have definitely extreme smokiness on it, depth of smokiness, and then after some time the sweetness rises from the back.
Yeah, it's interesting how you can combine such a hefty smokiness with a bit of vanilla. So it's almost like you, I don't know, a ham and then you put some vanilla in. I don't know. it's just crazy how you can. That's the beauty about whiskey itself, that you can combine so many flavors and so much complexity, and it's just something different.
Yeah, have the first chip. Cheers. So, in the beginning, very smooth. Then the strength from the alcohol shines through. Then mouthwatering starts, sweetness appears, and then intense coverage of the smoke in your mouth. And then the spiciness showing through, but only when you swallow it. If I had it on the tongue, it wasn't quite mild, and after swallowing, the spiciness appears.
It's I like it how it's a mixture of hefty punch and light whiskey. So if you happen to have it, which probably many of you do, as it's such a famous bottle, just write what you think how it tastes inside the comment section, and we will have someone read it for us. This time we have someone read it. This time I'm not constantly doing something on the computer and showing you pictures.
So
we're just talking out of what we know about Ardbeg and all
You're
stuff.
much more relaxed. It's always a stress bringing everything just in time here. Then you provided everything, think everything's ready, and then
Stream.
no internet. Whoops. or no power.
No sound. Oh my god.
Yeah.
There's always something about this.
Do we have some questions?
No
Not
question.
yet. So let's talk about the production at Ardbeg. Ardbeg was unmothballed in 1997, and the bottle of the 10-year-old appeared in 1999. And then this was the only bottle available from Ardbeg, and there had been some older 17 years, 40% ABV on the market for, well, a few years. Then they increased in price very steep, and then they were gone, and then were no old whiskies left. There had been some 25 years old, but they went away as well. And then only the 10 years old was left, and it was completely made out of first fill and second fill ex-bourbon casks. So therefore you have this pale straw yellowish color in it, and it's all ex-bourbon and refill ex-bourbon casks, and this brings not too much of the cask influence into the whiskey, so you can definitely feel the distillery character. And they have two wonderful, not too big pot stills in the distillery, and they are running around the clock every day in the year. And whenever production stops, then Mickey Hatz, the distillery manager himself, last time I met him, He was covered with oil just to the elbow because it was
Some
in the
pompous.
still, in the still, replacing a tube and something. So it's all about production and keeping it up and keeping it constant.
Hands-on guy. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
met Mickey Hands as well. Awesome guy, and he's really hands-on. He's really
And
out
he's
there.
tough.
He's
strong.
enthusiastic, and yeah, he's kind of old. But when you go hiking, I went to the Ardbeg adventure.
Sorry, he's not old.
You're old. No, he's not the youngest guy, but he's having
He's nearly exactly my age.
nearly exactly your
Yeah.
age. Oh, okay. But he is running up the hill
Yes.
with a pace. It's incredible, incredible. But the thing about Ardbeg production, to come back to the point, is Ardbeg, as I mentioned in the Whisky.com news, is upping their production. So they want to double their production. They want to have not 2 stills but 4 stills, but they want to have exactly the same stills, same quality, because everybody is really satisfied with the quality. So definitely they just want to produce the same stuff, but more and more, so they can bring out the supply to get out everything on the market, but maybe hopefully get some new bottlings, some older bottlings and exciting bottlings on the market, as they will have more stock in the future.
I think the Chinese will
Oh yeah.
will grow very steep in demand, and all the new output will be sold.
They don't have to double it, they have to triple it.
Yes. Yeah. So after having the dram finishing in my mouth, there's a wonderful, pleasant, not too strong but rewarding, fading away aftertaste. It's really satisfying and nice, and the smoke is not too much covering inside my mouth, so it's just pleasant.
It's amazing that you can have a 55 ppm whiskey with a strong start of smoke, and then you have that pleasant journey through the smoke with all the sweetness, vanilla, little bit of spiciness, little bit of chili, and just that wonderful complex journey. But the smoke is not, what do you call it, demanding or attacking on you. Yeah, I like it. That's just why it's such a famous standard bottling.
Are there comments about taste or questions?
Butter, honey, and coconut. That's very sweet.
Honey, definitely from the sweetness. Coconuts, typically from the fresh bourbon casks. Those provide those coconut taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, move on to the next one. So whenever you move up to Loch Uigeadail,
It's getting cloudy.
yeah,
Clouds are hanging in the.
in the mountains, yeah. Color, no. The question about the color in the whiskey, no, it's definitely not colored. And this was introduced with a new restart of the distillery and the new bottle of the Ardbeg TEN coming out in 1999.
They're not that deep color, but also if you're not coloring, then that's really the natural color. You can really talk about the color, because there are whiskies out there who have a really deep color, but you don't talk about their color because they're colored. and this one is not. It's honest.
Yeah.
But they have a green bottling. That's a bit of a.
Yeah, you typically the buying decision on the shelf is done by color.
Yeah,
So,
that's the
and,
thing.
and if you're honest in
your
color,
color.
then you're losing on the shelf.
Yeah, that's why you're doing that.
That
green
you-
bottle.
why you're doing
a green bottle is okay.
A green bottle, yes. And it's typically in former times, all bottles had a light greeny shine. They weren't able to take that color out. So green is sign of being old, of ancient. So Uigeadail is called after the Loch Uigeadail, which is the main or the only water supply of the Ardbeg distillery. It's up in the mountains.
Uigeadail and
Arashan and Beist is fed by Uigeadail. So I think it's just
I think
lying on a half height.
I think Irish based. I think it's fed by the Uigeadail, but they both end up in the distillery. So
Yes.
you do get the original feed from the Uigeadail as well.
Yeah.
There's a direct feed as well. I'm not quite sure, but you have to ask Mickey Heads for that.
So we both went up
I
to.
think he is hiking. One of the guys from the distillery is hiking there like twice a week or something like that. So they are responsible for the water source as well. So they have to keep it clean. They have to keep the dam good, and yeah,
And
they did a fine job.
yeah,
didn't they?
there's a video online. We put it afterwards in the description. We are able to change the description.
Yeah, sure,
yes,
sure.
we add that video where I
you just
climbed
go
with
on to-
Mickey Heads on
You just
up to.
go onto the YouTube channel and just type in Ardbeg, and there's a ton of videos coming, and you can find everything.
Yeah, and there we went up with Mickey, and whenever you reach Uigeadail, you have to.
Oh yeah, that was a ritual, right?
Yes,
What was it called? You
jump
a dram of Uigeadail into the loch Uigeadail to
Yes.
give back something to.
west to
To the
Uigeadail. To the loch. Yes.
Yeah, so the Uigeadail is the high strength version, and the one with the sherry casks in it. And I think there's a certain amount of first fill bourbon and refill bourbon, and then there's a certain amount of sherry. You said 10%.
10%.
I thought
I
that
heard
was a
that when they introduced the whiskey.
It's a secret because I've done a challenge on the Ardbeg adventure, and you had to mix your Uigeadail, and they gave you first fill, second fill, and sherry, and so you mixed it, and they didn't tell us in the end because it's a secret. So 10% is your guess then.
No, not my guess, because when the whiskey was introduced, I think it was in 2002 or 2003.
Also, they said
The former distillery manager said, "Well, we added 10% of sherry cask to bring the
Okay. There's a question about the proof. Proof is
54.2."
No, it's 54.2 ABV. The proof
Yeah.
is then 108.4.
Four.
Proof for the US proof.
Yeah. So
The
it's
imperial proof is something else.
yes to bring the official data first. It's non-chill filtered. It's of course uncolored, and has a retail price between 60 and 70 euros, dollars, pounds, whatever. I forgot to tell that the Ardbeg TEN was 40 to 50 euros, dollars, pounds. So it's definitely 10 to 20 more expensive. Yeah, so we have some sherry cask influence in it, and this brings a little bit more of fruitiness into the first taste. Brings definitely more color into the whiskey. It's darker, it's brownish against those straw light yellow. So the Uigeadail gives more in terms of ABV, more in terms of sherry cask, but less in age. So there's no age on it.
Yeah, no age statement, but
yeah.
it's a nice one. I really like the Uigeadail because it's as it is packing a punch. You do have a lot more more flavor in it. You do have more. There's a mixture of smokiness, sweetness with the right intensity, and that's what makes it so intriguing. So yeah.
So it's definitely deeper and more fruity and darker.
But it's a bit dark. There are dark fruits, but I think there are also, from my point of view, there are also light fruits. So I do have a bit of a, what is that? Apples, bananas, pears.
So there is a difficulty we have to tell. Lake Walchensee behind us has an elevation of 800 meters, as I said, and the higher you go up into the air, the less you smell and taste. So smelling and tasting whiskey in an airplane gives definitely less taste, because the air up there is 2,500 meters in pressure, and you taste less. So the cook or the caterers for the airplanes have to add additional salt to all food and have more intense wines, so you taste more. So we here might suffer a little bit from the elevation, and it's cold,
Yeah.
and there's a little breeze coming through, So probably the nose is not that intense as you have in your normal setting at your cask.
I would agree with you that the 10 was a bit less intense, but I think the Uigeadail just, it really packs a punch. So I think we had a question here somewhere.
Have you noticed any significant batch variations over the years in the Ardbeg 10 in the smell taste?
So
Variations in the
between
batches.
the Ardbeg 10, no.
No.
But within the Ardbeg Uigeadail, there had been variations. But people say, well, this one was crap and that was excellent. I would say variations were about 5 to 10%, to give a rough number. And I couldn't tell if the variation was in the direction better or worse. So there were variations. Well, there had been different batches. There are differences in it. But the Ardbeg 10 is a mixture of so many casks because the demand is so high that there is no chance for variations.
The thing is, it's really hard to find out difference in the batches because I don't know, I've had the Ardbeg like, I don't know, 8 years, 10 years ago, but do you really remember what it was like 10 years ago? It's really hard to remember. And if you open the bottle from 10 years ago, are you
There
sure
might be
that
something going on.
there might be something going on in the bottle because you have a bit of oxidization going on there. If you conserve it really well, a bottle, and you open it then 10 years later, then you might find the difference, or you might not find a difference. Oh, there's another question about the ppm. Okay, yeah, ppm is with the standard bottlings of Ardbeg, you do always have 55 ppm, so that's pretty high. Usually the other Islay malts have a bit less, but there are exceptions like the Ardbeg Supernova, which has 100 ppm, or the Ardbeg Blaster, which had zero, which was a
And the
non-smoking
Kildalton,
one.
which has very few
did it have-
ppm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can't remember that.
The ppm is, well, this is difficult because the ppm is a specification for the malt.
Yeah.
And after distillation, only a fraction of that ppm is coming through to the whiskey, which goes into the cask. And in the cask maturation, changes or reduces the peatiness and the smokiness as well. And after years and years, there is only very few of the peatiness left over from the original malt. So ppm is always specified by the first product, and how they matured and how much is left over varies.
Yeah, the thing with the ppm is, what are you measuring with the ppm? Are you measuring the ppm inside the bottle?
No.
Nope, it's the ppm inside the malt. And what actually the most of the distilleries do, I think they do it also at Ardbeg, is they order two different strengths in ppm, and then they blend them all together, and they measure each batch and they blend it so they are really accurate to 55 ppm to get the right quality, to always get the same quality. And where do I want to go with that? Yeah, quality. Okay, we had another question about the age statement. Nope, there is no age statement on the Uigeadail. There are many rumors and there are many suggestions and many estimations about the age statement. I would say it's a mixture between 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and I don't know, something 8-9-year-old. It's definitely a mixture.
I would say the age of the casks, there will be less matured casks which were left over from the Ardbeg 10, and they will fit perfectly with the sherry casks, so they will add together to a good final product. And so we will be quite old ex-bourbon casks, and probably my suggestion is younger sherry casks, and blending them together to give this wonderful smooth. And there's definitely no youthness, no metallic taste in the whiskey, which is typical to young whiskey, but you're able to cover the youthness very well behind a hefty peatiness. So
And high strength.
and high strength. So
I have to say, with the sun fading now, and with our little lights here on the side, it looks like a green screen. But we're not a green screen. We're actually here at the lake.
yeah, so the midge is coming up.
Yeah, the midge is
I
coming
got
up.
2 stitches already. So finishing the Uigeadail, it's much fuller, deeper, fruitier, and in the back there is as well some spiciness, some espresso, some tobacco notes. So this sherry cask influence is definitely there, but the ex-bourbon casks are there as well. There's this sweet vanilla tone in it, and it's wonderful, rewarding. And after having that dram, you're not sharp in your mouth, you're not covered by smoke. It's just rewarding, pleasant, filling up your mouth, and it's really warming. So I don't need this groovy t-shirt.
Yeah, for me, the Uigeadail, I think from the 3, I like the Uigeadail the best, just because it's that
Don't
nice,
take the result first.
it's just the nice mixture between sweet and smoky. That's what I like about the Uigeadail. That's really nice. That's what it sums up. You do have a bit of a complexity with what you said, bit of espresso, a bit of a herbs,
But not lasting too long.
Yeah, but not lasting too long.
And not bitterness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bitterness, but one of the, what do you call it, the dark flavors, dark chocolate, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Still one to go.
Okay, the Ardbeg Corryvreckan. The Corryvreckan is a vortex in the sea between Jura, I think north of Jura and Isla, and the vortex is actually pretty famous, as it's one of the few vortexes that the Royal Navy considers as not shippable. So it's
the
actually,
Royal Navy.
it's actually pretty
No,
nowadays.
sir.
Nowadays, even still nowadays, the vortex is considered not shippable because it's one of the stronger vortexes. Or a vortice? I don't know. And
Probably it's Latin. Vortices.
and there are strange rumors about the Corryvreckan vortex. And one story is that George Orwell, who wrote 1984
On
in the
Jura.
year 1948,
Yes.
on Jura, and he took his cousin on a rowing trip, and they rowed and they rowed and they wanted to row round Jura on the north shore, and they got into the Corryvreckan, and they actually got shipwrecked and got rescued, and he finished the novel afterwards, but it was close and it was really dangerous.
Yeah, he died a year afterwards because he suffered tuberculosis. Yeah.
But he finished his novel.
Yes.
He would have probably written a lot of good stuff if he would have survived the tuberculosis.
Yeah. So Ardbeg Corryvreckan has 57.1 ABV. So 100 proof in imperial numbers.
In imperial numbers, so
it's 100 proof.
in US proof it would be 114.2. I don't think the Americans do points. They don't like points, they like fractions.
Yeah. So it's unchill filtered, of course, uncolored, and it's in the mid 60s to 70s euros, dollars, pounds. And it was introduced after the Ardbeg Uigeadail. First was the Ardbeg TEN, then the Uigeadail, and after that the Corryvreckan. And the specialty of the Corryvreckan is that beside the ex-bourbon casks, they use French oak casks.
Oh, my rotation.
You're too fast again. And so this fresh French oak cask delivered different tastes to the whiskey. And they add a lot of oakiness, but they do not add the fruitiness of a wine. So this is the difference. And the smokiness, the peat level is the same as the other two have, 55 ppm. Yeah.
The Corryvreckan, if you smell it, it smells a bit similar to the others, but it's when you swallow it, when you drink it, it packing much more of a punch. So it's a lot stronger, and you can really taste the vortex. it's really it's strength in the glass with more of a spices note. There's pepper, there's nutmeg, there is cloves, some herbs in it as well. So it really packs a punch. And even the thing is that what I had in the German take was when I added just a little bit of water. Usually the whiskey turns a bit more to the fruity side of the whiskey, but this one even got more into the spiciness, the strength, the intensity.
So I definitely have a lot of smoke, and the smoke is deeper, is stronger. There's some tar in it. And then I feel some light, fresh fruitiness. And then there's some earthiness showing through, some dampness.
Now that you say it, definitely you do have that deep notes. Earthiness comes also through. It's just it's a wonderful journey, and you think that if you have such a what do you call a constriction on the production, where you say, oh, you only do 55 ppm. There's so much variation. You have the nice everyday dram, you have the hefty, fruity, sweet, also strong one, and then you have the intense, spicy, strong one in the end. So it's interesting how you can get so much difference between.
And not to forget, we just have 3 this day. There's another one, standard bottling, already available. It came out, I think, late last year. It's the Anora, which is the peninsula on the southwest coast of Islay. Very windy there. And they have also different cask types. So with the years, Ardbeg switched over from just ex-bourbon casks to a lot of different casks which deliver additional flavors to the whiskey, but not that intensity as other distilleries do by adding 50% or 100% sherry cask or going into a Marsala cask or whatever. So here you always have the main Ardbeg, that the typical taste of an Ardbeg, this smokiness, the light sweetness is there, and then you add some tastes, and here there's some peppery, some espresso, some more from the casks.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice. Really nice.
Yeah.
Any comments from the comment section? Nothing?
No.
There's a lot of chat going on, but also...
What are they telling us? Hoop, I'm coming from?
No, they're talking about Boma.
They're just chatting along as we talk along as well. Okay, nice. Okay, so did we have any stories in the other one?
Come back again to this groovy style. We took some videos before. And we also had a tasting of the grooves, and have a look for the grooves. It's a different whiskey to these ones, and they will be not available for long. So if you see them on the shelf at your local dealer, have a buy. They will not stay for long, as the other yearly Ardbeg bottlings did not stay forever. So sometimes they are not that big in numbers, so you have to race for them. Sometimes there are a lot of them which you will be available to buy even a year after. You can't always tell. It depends on how it tastes, how the people feel about it. Depends on the price, how it develops. So it's always 10, 20, 30 euros, dollars, pounds more expensive than the normal ones.
Yeah. I think it will come out on Ardbeg Day on the 2nd of June. Have a look out for your Ardbeg Day in your local country. I think there are a lot of embassies who celebrate the Ardbeg Day on the 2nd. So just go on ardbeg.com and you will find out everything about the Ardbeg Day. Yeah. For any more information, visit Whisky.com.
Yeah, of course, as always. And do we have a number of people online? Not yet.
Should I go in the background again to prove it's not a green screen?
Oh, we're just below 100.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, whiskey is more of a thing of during winter. We do have a lot more numbers during winter because people might still go out because it's such a nice weather. We didn't have nice weather this evening. It was pouring rain, but now it's clearing up and there's a bit of smoke going on the lake.
Smoke or
smoke? Not what do you call
fog?
it? Fog. Yeah, it's the peat smoke.
So, and now it's quiet. There had been quite crowdy here, and there was some grilling going on. It was really warm and sunny, and well, we are happy. We have that tent.
Yeah, we had the tent. That tent saved our ass. Okay, so leave some comments what you think about the mustache. Should I keep it or should I leave it in the 70s? Magnum style. Okay. Yeah. So, you have anything else?
No, sorry.
So, thank you very much for watching. This is it. If you like the stream, please share this with your friends who might also be interested in whiskey. Thank you much for watching and see you next time.